Hello everyone, and welcome to our top 10 card list for Hearthstone's new expansion, the Boomsday project. In this video, we'll be breaking down our picks for the strongest looking cards coming out of Dr. Boom's lab. Keep in mind that this list is by no means the end-all be-all for card predictions, but rather a list based off our standard experts' perceptions. Feel free to come back in a month or two and roast him in the comments though if he misses something obviously busted. With that being said, let's get into the fun part. 10. Doubling Imp. The card may look underwhelming, but Doubling Imp gives Zoo something it's always looked for, a good 3-drop. Don't underestimate the power that 2/2/2s on turn 3 has. While their bodies may not be the strongest, you'll frequently find yourself having to clear them or risk running into a strong Defender of Argus or Fungalmancer effect. Another fantastic aspect of this card is that because it summons a copy of itself, both bodies will be 3/3s if you hit it with a Prince Keleseth buff. This will make it a very solid addition to any aggressive Warlock deck, and only time will tell if it'll keep Zoo in the top 2 tiers of our meta snapshot. 9. Juicy Psych Melon. The most obvious implication of the Juicy Psych Melon is in Wild Togwaggle Druid, because it draws the entire combo for the price of 4 mana. In that deck, this feels like a clear auto-include, and while that makes your opponent know when to run out their dirty rats, that's just a risk you'll have to live, or lose with, when playing that deck. In Standard, the applications of Juicy Psych Melon are a little more nuanced. You don't have to max out the power of Psych Melon for it to be good. It's a completely serviceable card if you find a Lich King and Malygos with it. The targeted drawing power of the card has it making the top 10 list, but the narrowness of its stipulations has it only at number 9. 8. Topsy Turvy. Why is a 0-mana Crazed Alchemist on the list of top 10 cards from the Boomsday? Well, Divine Spirit Inner Fire Combo Priest has long been a powerful deck option in Standard for Priest and combo players alike. There has been one really big issue with playing the deck over the past few months though, Skulking Geist. The prevalence of Geist in a plethora of standard decks to combat Druid have had a collateral effect of eating combo Priest's Inner Fires. This is such an issue for the deck that players have resorted to playing Crazed Alchemist or Void Ripper to act as a pseudo Inner Fire. The issue with these cards is that it constrains the available mana for those combo turns. Topsy Turvy fixes these issues as it dodges Skulking Geist, it's completely free so your mana's not bottlenecked, it's able to be found with Shadow Visions, and it's a spell so you can play it on your value Lyra turns. For all of these reasons, Topsy Turvy finds its way onto our top 10 list. 7. Electra Storm Surge. In the same vein as Flabidinous Floop, Electra Storm Surge is a minion that increases the power and consistency of a tier 1 deck. Electra is a tight fit into standard Shutterwalk shells, allowing the deck to power up their Lightning Storms, Healing Rain, Volcanoes, Farsights, and more. This is a card that's sure to make an impact in Wild as well. Recently, the Wild community has all but dropped Aggro Shaman from their repertoire in favor of Even Shaman. Electra seriously adds some much needed power to Aggro Shaman by allowing her to double up on any burn spell or Maelstrom Portal for the added piece of 3 mana and leaving behind a 3/3 body. 6. Unexpected Results. Aggro Mage has been scraping the bottom of the barrel for playable 4-drops since Witchwood was released. Most lists settle on Life Drinker and Arcane Keysmith, but curving into those on turn 4 can feel very weak. Unexpected Results serves as a fantastic card for the aggressive styles of Mana Worm decks to curve into, and if players start adding Blood Mage Thalnos back into their lists, then Unexpected Results gets even more potent. 5. The Solarium. 1 mana, draw 3. With an effect and mana cost like that, the drawback has to be big. The drawback on the Solarium means that you'll want to be playing cheap cards in your deck to be able to maximize the amount of cards you can play that you draw. This card should fit very cleanly into a standard Zoo shell as an extremely potent mid-game refill tool. There's a possibility also of this seeing some play in Wild with a discard Zoo shell with Silverware Golems and Clutch Mother's Avarice. 4. Dr. Boom, Mad Genius. While Dr. Boom may not be the most impactful or obviously strong card, it provides quite a bit of value. Though there is an element of RNG in what hero power you get each turn, all of them provide an advantage given the right scenario. This is said without even taking into account his passive ability of giving all your mechs rush. If there's a warrior deck with a mech slant to it, Dr. Boom will be a linchpin. If Hagatha has taught us anything, it's that cards that provide incremental, long-term value can be much stronger than they appear on first look. 3. Glowtron. While a 1-mana 1/3 does not look great on the surface, they've traditionally been very strong in more aggressive decks. They check in at the perfect stat line to be hard enough to deal with cleanly and perfect for grabbing early board control. Odd Paladin already plays substandard 1-drops that can be replaced with Glowtron. While being a solid 1/3 body, it has the added benefit of being able to magnetize onto itself in the mid-game for a buff or a bit of burst damage. Outside of any potential decks abusing the new mech synergies, Glowtron will also be a huge boon to Murloc Paladin. After the most recent standard rotation, Murloc Paladin lost 2 1-drops, and as a result, the curve had to become more top-heavy to compensate. Not only is Glowtron a really solid 1-drop the deck can utilize, it has the hidden benefit of being able to magnetize to Nightmare Amalgam for even extra utility and power. 2. Spirit Bomb. While Malygos Druid currently reigns as the king of Tier 1, Even Warlock clocks in at a close second. Even Warlock has a weakness to strong early game minions that it can't cleanly answer, like Henchclan Thug, Manatide Totem, and the like. Spirit Bomb is going to help shore up this weakness and even use the downside of losing 4 health and turn that into a positive. Another area where Even Warlock has struggles is against very slow control decks where it can't get its life total low enough to consistently drop a 7/7 hooked Reaver. Spirit Bomb single-handedly clears up some of Even Warlock's major problems, so it clocks in at number 2 on this list. Before we reveal the most powerful card in the set, let's go over 2 honorable mentions that didn't quite make the cut. Biology Project. Biology Project is an extremely powerful card. Ramping 2 mana crystals for the price of 1 is absurd, but the downside is that you give your opponent the mana as well. When you play Biology Project, you're essentially saying to your opponent, let's both skip the first 3 turns of the game. In any meta where Druid isn't already top tier, we would put this card at number 1 or number 2, but in the Druid mirror, you never want to give your opponent free mana at the cost of a card, so that causes Biology Project to fall down to the honorable mention section. Floop's Glorious Gloop. This is a card that's difficult to evaluate as we've never had an effect quite like this before. Gloop requires some setup to really maximize the full potential of it, so it may be easy to play around if your opponent sees a big Gloop turn coming. This is one of those cards that will either be completely busted or very nearly unplayable, and only playing with it will tell us which one is which. And at number 1, we have Flabidinous Floop. Floop himself has been the center of a ton of discussion regarding Druid's current strength in the meta. As it stands, Malygos Druid sits at the top of Tier 1, and Floop is a clear inclusion into that list. With the ability to play a Malygos or the Lich King turn before Floop, he will come down as a second and much cheaper copy of the biggest swing cards in the deck. He allows the deck to set up 1-turn kills much easier by serving as a 4-mana Malygos, but also increases the consistency and threat density of the deck. Outside of the clear inclusion in Malygos Druid, Floop has tons of applications, and he earns our number 1 spot on this list due to his ability to strengthen what is considered the best deck in the game, as well as being extremely flexible. In conclusion, only time and playing with the cards will tell if we're on point or off base with our card predictions here. So get hyped for Boomsday, get out there and get to playing, and let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on any of the other great Tempo Storm content on this channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.